More Gospel, Chapter 11, Sex, Part 1. The Lord God said, "It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him." Now the Lord God had formed out of the ground all the wild animals and all the birds of the sky. He brought them to the man to see what he would name them. And whatever the man called each living creature, that was its name. So the man gave names to all the livestock, the birds in the sky, and all the wild animals. But for Adam, no suitable helper was found. So the Lord God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep. And while he was sleeping, he took one of the man's ribs and then closed up its place with flesh. The Lord God then built the rib that he had taken from the man into a woman. When he brought her to the man said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, for she was taken out of man. That is why a man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife, and they become one flesh." Genesis chapter 2, verses 18 through 24. There's nothing like sex to get people's attention. Advertisers use it constantly to sell their products. I've read that porn sites comprise half of the entire internet. You would think that something so pervasive would be well understood. You would be wrong. Sex is one of the most misunderstood subjects in the world, and it's becoming more confusing daily. We have even reached the point of denying the physical reality of male and female, or the reality of the human species. There shouldn't be such confusion because God explained his plan for human sexuality right at the beginning of human history. The passage above from Genesis pretty well gives us the big picture. Let's take a look at some basic principles that we find there. God made us as sexual creatures. He made us as male and female. God made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. This is basic biology. He didn't have to create us in this binary form. As God, he could have made humans and their means of reproduction very differently. But male and female is what he created, and he said that it was very good. This is the first mistake people often make. They don't realize how extremely good sex is. Through our sexuality, we can procreate human beings who are in the image of God. That's a really godlike action. He made the first two humans and then said that we could help him make the rest through our sexuality. We provide the biology, and he creates each immortal soul and directly infuses it into the body at conception. Our sexuality is more powerful than an atomic bomb. The atomic bomb can kill lots of people in an instant, but our sexuality can procreate a person in an instant. Is it more difficult to paint the Mona Lisa or to destroy it? Bombs can only destroy, but our sexuality can create, so it is more powerful. Our sexuality is really holy. Yes, I said holy. That is a word that society never connects with sex because they don't get it. When someone imitates God, they're living in a holy way because God and all of his ways are holy. Using sex the way that God intended it is actually a very holy action. In fact, the church has a sacrament that is intended for the correct use of sex. It's called matrimony. When something is extremely holy, good, and powerful, it would only make sense that God would place protections around it so that it would be used properly. That's exactly what God has done. And we can see these guidelines for the correct use of our sexuality in Genesis. As I said before, God made them male and female, and he wants his creatures to be fertile and multiply and fill the earth. That necessitates heterosexual behavior and forbids homosexual behavior or any type of behavior that can't be fruitful.